What up? What up? It's your boy Blank Anthony on another episode of Sports Talk49. Always here to bring you what you need. So we'll just jump right into it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat down on the New York Giants on the road in New York. In New York City, they beat down the Giants. The Giants had such a dismantled season. And then especially after watching Saquon Barkley, a guy that they just let walk for peanuts because they thought he didn't have it left. They had nothing left in the tank. Whatever they felt, Saquon is doing his thing. And they're left with what they got. They got a nice, promising young rookie who fumbled in one of their drives. They were going in for a score. The ageless Lavonte David came in and did a punch-out. Check out Lavonte David Punch-Out Club. And that's pretty much, what their season's been like. Fumbling before their eyes, crumbling and things like that. And they just to seem that they can't get out of their own way. But let's just talk about a little bit of things here as I always go into the box score. And then we talk about, the box score and things like that. And we just go into other things. Like I said, it's not a whole lot to be hooting and hollering about. It's the Giants. They're going through a transitional period. And the Bucs needed to do what they needed to do. With that being said, we'll add this, put the full screen. Let me get up here. All right, Mayfield to just shy at 300 yards, only 6 incompletions. A lot of that has to do with the running backs. DeVito, 21 for 31, 189. Irving, 12 carries, 87 yards. Bucs defense shut down the run as they always do. Mike Evans comes back, leads receivers with 5 receptions for 68. Irving, 6 for 64. And everybody else had pretty much one catch besides Sterling Shepard with 5 for 16 yards. Trying to find somebody to fill that Chris Godwin role. I don't believe, did the Bucs surrender a sack in this game? No, they did not. They did not surrender a sack in this game. Great job, offensive line. I do believe, yes, Vita Vea got one. Anthony Nelson got one. And Kalijah Cansey got a sack and a big QB hit. Sean Tucker scored a touchdown because he played at Syracuse. I already know what that's all about. That has to feel great for him, scoring a touchdown where it all started with college. Had a fumble in the red zone that Baker Mayfield dove on. But there's little small things. Of course, you can't go a whole game without having some type of miscues. Baker Mayfield, pretty much fumbled a handoff exchange between him and the running back, and then almost injured himself, hitting the hip of the offensive lineman. Some tried to blame Todd Bowles. I'm like, that's about the most simplest thing that you can ask a quarterback to do besides taking a knee. I already know what that narrative is about the Bowles thing. So like I said, I'm not going to give that any press. But it's just handing off the ball, man. Even if it doesn't get there, you can't reach it, just fall down. At the end of the day, you're just there to try to run clock and get out the game. You could have just fell down instead of trying to pick up after a mistake. But they can't be doing those kind of mistakes because you do that in a game like a team that you're supposed to beat, like the Panthers or somebody like that, and then you give them momentum or give them the ball back, and you just can't make them that's just a bonehead mistake. A bonehead one. Just dive on the ball or not even ball on. If you know you're not going to reach the handoff, just either run behind them because that's where the block's going to go, or just dive on the ground. At that point in the game, it didn't even matter because you're trying to run out the clock. So him diving on the ground would have actually been just as a good answer as handing it off to White. And another thing, it's been a narrative all season, Rachaad White project. Rachaad White has been essential to this offense the entire year. Yes, Bucky has dynamic plays with juking people and things like that. But a lot of Bucky stuff doesn't happen without Rachaad White. Bucky Irving is great in his role. You're not going to put Bucky Irving in on a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 9, the pass protect for Baker Mayfield with big 300-pound linemen and 250-pound linebackers. God, I love Bucky to death, but he ain't blocking them. Therefore, you don't get Baker Mayfield's passes off. There's no pocket to throw in. It's all a process. Y'all got on board something about, he's not going to play. He's not going to tell you he's going to play Bucky Irving more. He's not going to tell anybody what they're actually going to do or whatever Leah Cohen's going to do with his offense. So, obviously, the guy duty called. They used the backs as extra receivers with Godwin and out because because essentially you're trying to find a Godwin replacement. And you have backs. Sean Tucker can catch, but he's not better than Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. Well, Rachaad White's the best pass catcher out of all three. So essentially you're going to move a back into that wide receiver spot. That's essentially what they're doing here. That's why you saw you had two backs on the field. And we'll look at that when the tape comes out tomorrow. But that's essentially what you tried to fill the Chris Godwin role with. You already have guys that can play that role. They could break tackles. They could get downfield. They could run over corners and things like that, much like Godwin was doing. So that's essentially what Cohen has done, is plug that part into there, into the Chris Godwin role. And you can still put Bucky in the backfield to hand the ball off, et cetera, et cetera. That's what they've done with the offense. Not sure if a lot of people have noticed that, but that's how the offense has moved now. Rachaad White has moved into that Chris Godwin role into the offense, or Sterling Shepard has. That's where you move those guys in for those plays. You can put two backs in. That's what's going on. It's you have the guys on the roster to fill the role. They do need to take a few more shots downfield. I think you need to use Trey a little bit more, so guys aren't always going to play in the box, relying on you to throw those underneath throws. West Coast kind of offense. You got to have, open up the middle of the field so Cade and other guys can make some catches in between the field. Purnham made a great catch, a little one-on-one. 50-50 ball, made a great catch. But like I said, it's the Giants. They're in a transition period. They're trying to find a new identity for whatever they do now in the future. So it's a lot changing for them. So like I said, I'm not gonna get too rah hoopla. It's just you saw a great team win in this game. You saw a great team win. These guys came out and performed, did what they needed to do. And they got the W after a bye week. A lot of injuries. Speaking of injuries, you lost, it seems, Jordan Whitehead with a torn pec muscle. I saw that, trying to stop the guy from scoring. Jordan Whitehead has been great all year. Like I said, a lot of my things is the way people view things. You can't view somebody's success of how they play because you haven't heard their name called. They're playing well because they're not throwing the ball your way. That's like saying a corner sucks because he doesn't have any interceptions. Well, he only gets maybe 2 passes thrown his way the entire game. Not really going to have many stats. Does that mean he suck? No, this means teams are scheming not to throw the ball in that direction. That's just what it is. And same thing with Jordan Whitehead. Great run stuffer, fits this offense perfect. This defense perfect. And stuffing the run and playing coverage and making big hits. He's been a viable part. You bring Mike Edwards back. And if Whitehead is out, I think Eddie Jackson can fit in this role here with Todd Bowles' role. Pretty much Todd can roll with a lot of defensive backs. He's turned a lot of defensive backs into the decent players or average players. That's what good coaches do, that can turn good average players into good, bad players into average. You get the point. And he's done that on so many levels with this roster, regardless of what many naysayers and terrible Tampa media does with whatever they do. But that's just what it is. Let's listen to Bucky in his post-game interview. Let me put this up here and we'll take a listen to it. Get this up here and get a listen.
Doug, congratulations on the win. That's the most important thing, a complete victory. Why was this team so good today as a team?
We was coming off the bye week. We had a chance to get fresh. We had to reset. We had some pretty tough losses going into the games that we played, but I feel like we had a great week of practice and it translated over to the game.
It wasn't everything, but the opening drive seemed to be like a statement and a touchdown. How much confidence did that give you the rest of the game as an offense?
It's always have confidence coming out, start with the run, see how the defense is playing, and then everything else open up from there.
We saw you get loose on a pass and you switched all the way to the other side of the field. We saw you get loose again on a run play, running through the middle of the field. Why are you having that kind of success at being able to cut back and make big plays?
It all starts with them guys up front. They do a great job in practice, and we just try to translate it over to the game. I pretty much be seeing the whole field before I get the ball. I just take a snap, a pre-snap on what the defense is lined up in, and then my instincts just kick in after that.
And one more, this team knows what's in front of it. It's got 6 games left to go. What's the confidence level right now with 6 games left to get back in the playoff picture in the division race as well?
I mean, we can't get comfortable. We just got to keep our foot on the gas and keep winning.
Thank you, Bucky.
Yeah.
Again, Bucky Irving.
How much can a game like this jumpstart you for the stretch run and the rest of the season?
I mean, we just got a 24-hour rule, put this one to bed, and get on to the next one.
What did you think about Baker's touchdown celebration? Channeling Tommy DeVito?
I mean,
he was going to do that?
No, I didn't know he was going to do that. I mean, he got in there and then pretty much did it, and we was all happy for him.
He did everything today, right? He did that. He's hurdling defenders. That block that he delivered on your 56-yard run, is there anything this guy can't do?
I mean, I love Baker, man. He's a guy that want to win football games. He's competitive, and them the type of guys that you want around you.
All three of your running backs got the ball in the first possession, and you all did something with it. What was that like to have everybody get going like that?
I mean, we all know that we're going to play in the game, and when your number is called, you just got to go out there and perform.
Why were you able to get up to such a strong start today in the first half as a team?
I mean, we coming off a bye. We know that this game was important. We came out, started fast, and we had to finish.
Did it feel like they leaned on you a little bit more in both the pass and the run game today?
I know. I just go out there and do my job. I don't really care. Nah, I don't care about that.
Was this the first road game that you could hear those Bucky chants? Because I know we heard it at Raymond James Stadium, but I don't recall hearing it at the visiting.
I mean, I'll be too locked in, so I don't really be pretty much. I mean, it's a blessing that the crowd is doing that, but I'm trying to lock in on a football game.
What about Baker's end zone celebration? What'd you think of it?
Baker, he just invigorates the entire team. I mean, all the stuff he does. I mean, that was a crazy play. Him jumping in there like that. I knew it was hurdling a guy. I mean, he's more slippery than you would anticipate. But having a quarterback who has passion like that and grit like that, we all feed off of it.
Close that out real quick. So yeah, you heard him. He said, "I don't even be hearing the Bucky chants." So, like I said, you be locked in the game, you ain't paying that no attention. So you should focus on the job, especially him hype and all that. It's like all you hear is noise. Like when you're down there, it's just a lot of noise with the guys yelling on the field and a whistle blowing and communication going back and forth. So sometimes you don't hear it unless you're chilling on the sideline. You can hear all that, but like I said, he hasn't even paid any attention. Like I said, I like the kid's focus. He's not paying attention to the nonsense that's going on with social media and guys trying to. It's y'all got to do better, man. But the way y'all root for this team, y'all have to do better. Y'all have to really do better because you make it not fun for other people. What do you mean, Blake? You trying to put divides on people who like Rachaad White and who like Bucky Irving. Why couldn't they just like both guys? You're trying to put divide between Baker Mayfield and Ty Bowles. You create more enemies among each other than to do the damn opponent. It's like you got to find some type of wedge somewhere, anywhere about anything with this team. Like I said, it's not a team. It's you, individual. Whoever's doing that, it's you. You need help. You need to not watch anymore or go somewhere else. I don't know. Because even in a win, you see this. Can we stop the Rachaad White project? What do you mean? Rachaad White has made plays all season long, just as Bucky Irving. What are you talking about? So, and then you got these guys that are player and tape experts that ain't played a down, ain't played a position, other ain't coached a position. And then y'all listen to them. That's what like I said, I don't know which one's worse. But I just sit here and watch for joy and entertainment. I just watch and read and things like that. But that's my little ramble. But back onto the game. Great job, great team win. Like I said, I ain't getting hoop and holler. You're supposed to do that to a team that's been disarray right now. So glad to see Mike back. Let's talk about more positive thing. Like Mike Evans, think he's gonna get his 1,000 yards, man. It's gonna be tough. This probably his toughest one with 6 games left. I mean, any one of them, he can get one of them 100, 150, 200-yard games and kind of set him ahead. Can't really afford to miss any more games unless he just has to have a monstrous game. Baker, don't force the ball to him and throw ill-advised picks because you want him to get it. Everybody wants to see him get it. But Mike would rather see the win rather than his yards. I I ain't even got to hear him say that. I already know that's his answer. He's done what he's done. He is who he is. Doesn't need any more validation. It's nice to see, but at the cost of the team's victory and turning over, I don't think it bothers him. So I heard the things I needed to hear. These guys are locked in. They're ready to go. Panthers coming up next week. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. What do you guys think? Well, and it says we always do. You're the master of everything that you do with your life. What you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless. See you next time. And then as always, fire those cannons. Peace.